So the first journal prompt I want to start with is I want you guys to reflect on what is this full moon illuminating? Full moons are a time of bringing the light to something. So what is this one bringing up for you personally? And does it relate to what we are noticing and feeling as a collective and the hunter's moon and it being in Aries? Is there anything around like your personal courage or leadership or feeling any like fieriness? A few moments just to write. What is this moon illuminating? The next one is what needs to be released? Lack of boundaries. Not saying no. Or maybe releasing doing too much or taking care of other people. What needs to be released? And these you can use over the next day or two. So with the full moon, it's 3 days before, 3 days after we feel the energy of it. So it doesn't have to be like right spot on. And maybe tomorrow more will come up, or maybe you've been already seeing all these things, but maybe the next 2 days you do. But the next one I have is where am I being too impulsive? I know my fiery airy ass is very passionate, and then I'm like, yeah, woo, and then I'm like, just kidding, I'm over it. And it's definitely a problem of mine. I'm aware. Where are you being too impulsive? Like, where are you just? Maybe you aren't. You are a water sign.
I know, but I don't have any earth in my
I keep hitting you, so I'm like,
I'm all water, all water. I need to be more.
And then where do I need more confidence? Maybe confidence to be more impulsive, to make decisions, to do things I want to do, to start the things I want to start. Where do I need more confidence was the question. So this is stuff that you can journal on and just maybe write down the questions if you want to journal on this again later. Because I do want to move forward into some personal self-awareness. So when you feel like you've written enough, or just for now, I want you to put your journals down, and then I would like you to sit, if you can, sit like this, like comfortably. So probably, yeah, we're gonna start. I want us to sit with our spine straight, cross-legged if you can. We're gonna do a practice just to learn to feel into our body and our own energy. There's a lot of us in the room right now, so it is hard. You are gonna feel and notice other people. But I want us just to start breathing and connecting. And yes, there's extra pillows over there if anybody else wants the pillows. Sorry, I didn't say that. So let's get comfortable, sit. This is only for a couple minutes, and then you can get comfy again. But close your eyes, straighten up your spine. Let's start with the hands, palms face down. Getting comfortable, taking the last movements that you need. Imagining roots from the base of the spine and the feet. Dropping these roots down beneath you, through the floor. Dropping these roots all the way down towards the center of the earth. And imagining these roots wrapping around a boulder 3 times. I'm safe, centered, and secure. This was a quick root dropping. Imagine doing this often if you can, especially around full moon, before work, wherever you're going and you're getting too in your mind or too explosive, like drop your roots, connect to the earth. Palms face down keeps you grounded, centered, and just feeling into your body right now, breathing in and out. Nothing has to change. Pulling your energy back into your mind, down to your throat. Letting all the thoughts, fears, and anxieties go. It's okay to just observe. I don't expect your mind to be blank, but just focus on your breath and my voice. Calling your energy back. Calling my energy back from this week, from any people in my life, from this day. Breathing in and anchoring into your body, placing a hand on the heart and the other one on the low abdomen on your sacred womb space. This is where our power, our intuition, our knowledge is. Big breath in and exhaling, sinking deeper into your body. Ooh, what does it feel like to arrive in your body in this space? Having the eyes closed, being inward, feeling your body, feeling your energy, noticing if your body wants to move at all. Is there a sway or a spiral? What is your energy feel? How does it feel to be in your bubble? And when you're around other people, thinking or saying out loud or saying in your mind before you go out into public or just in this space, what's mine is mine, what's theirs is theirs, and I'm comfortable in this space. So as you do that, you're creating a bubble around yourself, bubble around the other people, and then just saying, like, I'm comfortable here. So what's mine is mine, bubble around you. What's theirs is theirs, bubble around the other people. And I'm comfortable in this space. Noticing what your energy feels like. And then noticing, I'm going to ask questions. And noticing if your body says yes or no. And if it's a maybe or I don't know, then it's a no. And we're going to practice that. We're staying quiet and inward and just feeling what your body answers to any questions that arise. Do you want to go to sleep? Noticing how it feels. Do you want to play or dance? Do you want to eat some sweets? Like, how do these reactions, how does it feel in your body when you want to say yes? What does it say to you? Do you want to hug a stranger? Some people, yes. Some people, no. Ooh, that makes me feel, ooh, in my body. So notice, what does it feel like? I'm starting to learn how to say yes or no, and what is your radical truth, your authentic self want and need. So I'm sure there's questions that you have around your life or relationships or anything you're going through right now. I want you to just take a minute to ask yourself questions and feel for the answer. Nothing has to make sense. It doesn't have to be a right or wrong, but I want you to stay quiet for the next few moments. I'll stay quiet so you can ask yourself questions and listen and feel for the answer to practice your yes and no's. a couple more moments here. Any other questions you might have for yourself? And then when you're ready, I want you to unwrap your hands and just kind of feel the other people in this space. Opening yourself up to notice the others. Ooh, what does it feel like to be in a room of others? And can you practice putting your energy walls up or putting them down? Do you know how to, or are you aware? Some people it's really easy, some people it's really hard. Can you practice like imagining a purple light around you or a blue light of protection, and your walls being up and closing yourself off and staying inward? Can you put your walls down and open yourself up and let yourself be vulnerable? Some of us are good at it, some of us are too much, some of us are not enough, and that's okay. We're learning. But being able to turn yourself like on and off with open and close is really powerful too. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back to this room, and just be aware. But this is a time, I mean, we always need to be able to say no or tell people how we feel. Or a lesson I learned this weekend is I should be talking about radical consent at the very beginning of my retreats, my circles, my events, everything. That just because somebody asks you to do something or asks for a hug or touches you does not mean we have to allow it. Touch is how energy gets transferred. At my fire ceremony this weekend, there was somebody that wasn't authentic and they had some dark energy. And a friend of mine touched this person and was holding him, and another friend was touching them, and I literally went nope and like batted their hand away with my drumstick. I was like, nope, they have to do it for themselves. Trying to be nice about it, but it was I didn't want them to take on the energy of them. So like I went back and I was like, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be mean. I hope you know what I was doing. They're both like, no, thank you. Like, I believe in you. And, you know, like, I only say this because I want to share this story. If the people want to say anything about it, they can. But, like, we have to be very careful with who we touch, especially as healers and people and empaths where we take on and like nurses. While people were talking, I was very grateful. A lot of nurses come to my stuff and I'm like, okay, thank you. You guys need it. You're in the in-between where so many souls are hurt and lost, and oh God, you guys need all the self-care, all the support, all the protection. But touch is really how we transfer things. So we have to make sure that we're washing our hands, we're grounding, we're giving it to the earth. We're literally touching the earth and like surrendering and giving it to the earth, because we take on so much from other people, and often it's because we want to help them. You know, that helping hand of like, we here, I support you. Okay, well now you're taking on their shit, and that's bad for you, you know? So I'm grateful that I was able to have those conversations, talk about it, and I know they learned very much. And out in the real world, who's going to protect you? Who's going to tell you? Who's going to show up for you, you know? So we have to do it for ourselves and our people around us. So what are we taught from the beginning? Oh, just give them a hug, or oh, just be polite. Like, you know, like we're women, like little girls that they tell us to sit down, shut up, and listen and be polite and take care of everybody else. Like, that is what we learned. And now trying to raise children and letting them just be wild and crazy and have their own thoughts and feelings and telling me no and whatever. It's hard work. But we need to be saying no more. So I went to a cuddle party. If you've never been to one, love them. They're great. Cuddle parties. And this was the first time somebody said to me that no is a complete sentence. I was just like, I don't have to like explain myself or tell them why. I could just say no. What? Okay.
It's so empowering too.
Yeah. It was just, and then when you say no, you're saying yes to yourself. So when you say no to somebody else, you're saying yes to yourself. That's empowering to me. That's my favorite part. I'm like, yes to me.
I'm glad you said that, because it's the explanation is what gets me every time.
We don't have to have an explanation.
And it's draining.
Yeah. For saying no now.
Right.
Because they're looking at me like I'm being mean for saying no.
Yeah.
And then I sure feel bad, like,
And then
I don't have to feel this way. And like.
And then we go to the
No,
guilt.
I should have stuck with just no.
Yeah. And if it's not a full body, fuck yes. If you're not like, oh yeah, I want to do that, don't fucking do it. Just don't. Stop doing it. You're exhausting yourself. You're draining yourself, and then you're like just getting pushed around by everybody else.
Yeah.
The full body fuck yes. And then, okay, so this is our other thing too, is like, we want to give an answer right away. We want to, like, especially in the moment, like face to face, it's really hard. You can just say, I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
My favorite thing is, let me feel into that. Because I want to feel into it. I want to feel how my body feels. And my fiery, passionate ass needs to take a moment to breathe and get over her excitement and be like, is this good for you? Is this something you really want to do? And maybe think about like playing with fire and how you probably shouldn't do that. Problem. But, okay, so I'm giving you all the permission to say no, to say maybe, and then think, feel, and then do what we just did. That, okay, do I want to do this, or how does it feel? Like, what we just did, I want you guys to create that relationship with your body so that you can answer from your body and your truth. So our brain is programmed by everything out there and everybody in our family and society, what we listen to, what we watch. Like, literally, if you've ever done a hypnosis, we are susceptible to fucking everything. They can make us do whatever they want us to do. So that's why we gotta get out of there. We gotta get down here into the heart. You know, even just practicing putting your hand on the heart to bring that awareness, especially like anxiety and fears, like bring in the heart, like, oh, what does my heart need? And listening there. And boundaries. I know sometimes we hate boundaries. We feel bad about them, and we're like, oh no. Boundaries create healthy relationships. There's a really good book, Set Boundaries, Find Peace, something like that. There's a really good book. If you're interested and need a boundary book, let me know. Okay, the other things about protection. So, at my retreat, okay, so I do shamanic work. I don't always tell everybody that. I don't always use that label, but I use shamanic tools, and when energy presents itself, I know what to do with it if I have to. I like to stay kind of in this middle world. I go a little bit into the deep world or underworld. Sometimes I go out there with certain souls, you know, but there's some dark shit out there. There's some like dark energy, and right now with the shift of the earth going into 5D, we're like shifting apart. We're in this age of Aquarius, and like the awakening, and all the like normal people or people in society are finally being like, oh, whoa, what's going on? And us who have been like doing the healing work or into all this like woo-woo stuff, we've already been like seeing it and open, but now everybody else is starting to. And over the next few years, they're going to keep looking at us like, help me, like, what do I do? And like they're going through this shift. But as this is happening, little creepy dark energies, the like opponent, if you want to call it, or the darkness is trying to come out and trying to get in, trying to infiltrate us. We're seeing it, and all the craziness that's coming out with like sex trafficking, and like, look, man, this world has some dark shit in it. So we need to protect ourselves, and we need to keep up on our energy. So the biggest thing before we even go into protection is strengthening your energetic field. So what you're watching, what you're listening to, what you're putting into your body, drugs and alcohol are weakening your system. And then the people with that dark energy, that's who they're going to go to. They're going to latch on. Or the people who are loving and kind and open and want to help everybody and they're so sweet, they're going to come and try to attack you because you're so sweet and kind and open. And I love you, but we got to protect you. I love you so much, but mama bears are going to come fight for you. But some people don't have their mama bear to come fucking protect them. So we have to make sure we are taking care of our own energetic field. So what we just did, practicing, feeling, listening, doing different meditations, the right food, nutrition, vitamins, water, sleep. Sleep is a big one.
Yeah.
Like sleep deprivation, dude, you go on stage. Not sleeping will really lower your vibration. It's all a vibrational frequency. So we want to make sure we're lifting our vibration so that they cannot attach onto us or suck from our energy. Does anybody have thoughts, comments, concerns before I continue about that? I've had people say before, like, well, if you just don't believe in it, it's not there. And I'm like, oh, no, it's there. It's there. Okay, so we're going to go into protection and some things because I need you guys to amp up your protection. This is huge. It's getting intense. This weekend, there's a really dark energy. We had to do some really fucking heavy work, and I'm really glad I had my powerful people there to help assist me. When I call somebody in for help, you know that shit's heavy and dark. So I'm glad that the right people were at the retreat and that we were able to pull that shit out, transmute it, get into the earth. But it also did a latch on and try to suck some more energy. We were able to find it, pull it out, but seeing the same energy imprint and the way it presented itself in each person, knowing that's the same thing, like, it's out there, we have to be protecting ourselves. But you also need to remember that you guys are strong. You guys knowing, like, oh, I feel off, you know, or like something is different. If you're in like the nursing field, you should definitely do different shamanic healings just to get checked, to get cleansed and clear, and like do energy checks. But crystals are a really good way. I brought a few. So like, I also waitress. I'm around a million people all the time. So when I go to work, I'm protected up, like from labradorite. I like to wear that. That to me is like a softer, colorful protection, if that makes sense. That's my opinion. If anybody has anything else they want to say about labradorite, they definitely can. Black tourmaline. So that is this piece. If you want to pass this around, this is black tourmaline. It's be gentle with it. I did an energy healing session on my twin flame Matt years ago. Gentle, beautiful soul. And I put some black tourmaline on his back because he came over and he was not doing good. He's like, I need help, like, please help me. And I did a session on him, and I like pulled out some dark energy, and like the black tourmaline broke because it took too much energy. So you got to make sure you're clearing it. So black tourmaline will take negative energy in, but then it just like holds it. So it's good for like protection and like taking it on, but making sure we're cleansing and taking care of it. And then Organite has a bunch of different crystals and metals in it so that it is protective. I keep one by my bed, by like my router. If you want, it's chipped, so don't judge. But that's Organite. You can get it in necklace and jewelry form. That was the first stone I learned about in Costa Rica at my women's retreat. If you wear it, it literally makes you lighter. Like they did a thing of like lifting people up, and without it, you could like not, with 2 fingers. People were on each side with 2 fingers lifting people up. Did a lift them up, put on their Organite, and literally, woo, they were just lighter, and we lifted up. It was crazy. So that's when I was like, oh shit, crystals are real. They really do things. I should try to reenact them. Maybe I need to know details. But so Organite is really good to have around you. That transmutes the energy. That shifts it and uplifts it and brings it to positive. Cleansing sprays. I also had Tiger's Eye. Is good for protection and courage, especially around the time we're in right now. Hematite, that is like a silver metallic-y kind of looking thing. And then black obsidian. Black obsidian is really good too. Black onyx, thank you, that too. So there's a lot of crystals that help. So I'm telling y'all right now to go out there and suit up. Suit the fuck up. Literally.
So I just wanted to speak to the fact that when you do use crystals, that it's good to cleanse them after they've done their work. So selenite is a really good cleanser. I have like a selenite bowl that, like, when I come home, I take all my jewelry off and crystals.
Put it in the selenite bowl.
And then, yeah.
Yes, I have a selenite little plate that I put around my crystals over there. Selenite's really good. Citrine also is for cleansing. I have way too many crystals to put out under the full moon. Y'all can do it. But my whole house is full, so it's not fucking happening. So sunlight can cleanse it. I mean, moonlight can. Sunlight amplifies it, or like, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know. Thank you. Thank you. That's the word I was looking for. Charges it.
And not all crystals should be in the sun.
Yeah.
Correct. Amethyst, yep, it'll fade. And not all crystals can be wet. Like selenite cannot get wet.
Anything with ice, I think, is the ones that you can't really put in water.
Yeah. You know, interesting is I put a bunch of crystals on my daughter's bed, and I realized they're all ice.
Really?
Like calcite, pyrite, selenite. yeah, I was like, oh, okay, I didn't try to do that. What's going on there? All right, she's from another planet. It is what it is. Crystals protection. I burn sage or different like cedar or like there's different herbs for protection, for cleansing, for clearing. Dude, I could literally go on forever about all this stuff. But
Cinnamon is the most common one that you have in the house that will help you with protection. Cinnamon and eggshell.
yes, I just started doing the eggshells just a little bit. But you like clean them and then you crunch them up.
Yeah, so
Salt too, though.
yeah, salt as well. But with the eggs, yeah, after you're done using them, you just rinse them out really well, and then you put them in a jar. Like I have jars of just white eggshells everywhere, and so now my partner has to ask, can I throw these ones away, or are they part of your eggshell? This is not garbage. These you have to dry out.
My eggshells
These are meant to be, because they're really good to put. But eggshells are really good to put in your plants even. So if you need any protection, just like put a little on top of your plant soil. Not a whole lot. I mean, eggshells, cinnamon, all common household products that you guys can use.
Yeah, salt on the window sills and at your doors. Like selenite. Yep, I have selenite rods in my window sills where I sleep and where my kids sleep.
I use selenite for my windows, and that's why I'm so glad you guys reminded me of like cleansing in general. But I keep black tourmaline in the four corners of my house and above my doors. I don't think I've cleansed them once since moving around.
Yep, cleanse and clear.
Yeah.
I also have like with my soul sessions, I have a little bowl with Himalayan salt that after I'm doing a lot, I put them in there. And then there's a lot of sprays. I like sprays. They're easy, convenient. I have a spray in my purse when I need it. Like it's nice just to have that extra support. I also wanted to talk about the beautiful Florida water. Okay. So this shit smells so good, but it's very potent. You want to pass it around? Before you leave, I'll get you some. Well, I'll find a little container for it. Florida water is really good for cleansing, clearing, protecting, but I really realized this weekend how much it like clear, canceled, and deleted the dark energy. Where we pulled it out, I put that right on the body, and that is something I want you guys to start using.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is that literally water from Florida, or is that like a brand called Florida Water?
I don't know what it really is.
Okay.
Like it smells like a cologne.
It's some sort of perfume thing. It's supposed to be.
Yeah. Florida Water cologne.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, but
I remember when I
don't
first
put it in your
started
mouth.
doing
I got a really funny story for it. No, but go ahead.
No, I gotta know how to shit. Forget.
the first thing I bought when I started getting into like witchy stuff was like, I've seen this stuff and I'm like, what do I do with it?
Yeah.
Sitting there.
So, thank you for that because so back here is where things attach onto us, and then like here, like the right where your shoulder blades, those lines are like where our wings are. So you'll feel if you feel like back there, like something's trying to attach to you. So
picture it as like a slug. I'm like pulling bugs off my fence.
yeah, the selenite wand you can do that with. I use feathers, even just like I put my hand there, like like protecting yourself with your own hand. Like you guys are powerful. Your intention, what light and colors you choose, like you guys can do it yourself. And if you need an extra assistant, reach out to your people. Are you gonna say something?
Well, I don't know. I thought about maybe sharing.
You can say, hey, you do it. Go ahead. Okay. I just didn't want to say, oh, hey, blah, 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 and call people out. You guys can share whatever you want.
Okay, yeah. So this was at the retreat, and it was after one of the women there had touched me or whatever. But actually, after I realized that throughout my life, I've just been like accumulating some dark shit. So, and even going into it, I mean, Chelsea was like, "Can I do an energy check on you?" I was like, "Okay." I mean, I didn't even really know what that meant. Like,
and as soon as I stepped behind her, I was like, "Oh, okay."
I had no idea going into it, and maybe there was even some skepticism going into like if this is like real or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, please share this.
And as soon so she had all her stuff packed up. It was towards the end of the retreat, but she was doing all her soul sessions in this like gigantic closet. And she took me back there and immediately was like, felt like my back or whatever, and she was like, I don't like this. And I was like, what the fuck is back there?
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, but I can feel like.
And dude, I feel like I left my body, like I don't even remember the whole experience fully, but I remember you using the Florida water, and I remember you getting Amy and Yogi, and I just remember like physically shaking and sweating and getting super hot and feeling like I was gonna like projectile vomit everywhere. But like,
And everybody who had that energy did the exact same thing. All three of you were.
I literally felt like The Exorcist. Like,
Yeah.
like literally, it was crazy. And the sounds that came out of me, I was like, is that me? Like, is
No,
that
it was
me?
not you. That's why I kept telling you did nothing wrong. This is not you. Like, you're safe.
Dude, it was,
I don't know if you remember me saying that,
it
but
was
I
like
did.
the craziest experience of my life. It seriously was. But since then, I like feel like myself and like lighter, and I just want to protect myself from that shit.
Yeah, and I'm bringing this up in this community because I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to give you the tools and tell you what is out there, what's happening, what's real. You don't have to believe me, but if you have a weird ass feeling and something and you need questions, reach out anytime. Thank you for sharing that. The other person who also the energy also attached onto did that exact same thing, and I just remember seeing her like sad and crying and like get this out of me. Like she knew it wasn't her either, and I want to speak to that because when that woman lay down on my table that day, I could see her younger hurt self sitting over here, wanting to be in her body, wanting to be there, while this like dark black energy was like taking over and inhabiting her. So like we pulled a fat chunk of that out. We couldn't get it. I don't think we could get it all. Like we tried, but also this person was so in her predator energy that she was choosing it. She was feeding it. She was choosing that over and over and over. I allowed her to be in that space because I don't believe in cancel culture, and I want to give people the opportunity to do better. But through actions and repeated things, clear, cancel, delete, you are not allowed in my community, period. And all my people got to see how I'm going to show the fuck up and how it's not going to happen. I'm going to mama bear the fuck out of it. And like, it was intense and it was a lot, but the people who were there needed to learn and see what that felt like to protect themselves. And that's why I was like, I know I'm doing my full moon ceremony now. I know what needs to be shared and talked about because we have to protect ourselves. So the crystals, selenite, I use selenite knives to cut people off or cut things out of people too. And like, Yogi's just magical, and she has these like energetic claws, and she just pulls things out of people. Yeah, but like I use a wand and some other energy pulling out, but and like I'm not saying everybody has this, but sometimes it presents itself, and when it does, we have to know what to do with it. Were you gonna say anything? Okay, I was like, I felt like you wanted to say something. I just want to check. Anybody else?
Can I say?
Yeah,
You can go
No,
ahead.
you go ahead.
Like when Kaylee was sharing the story, I could like feel everything, but like that's not my energy, right? That's like not me.
Well, she was because she's explaining it. Yes, because when somebody is like opening up and sharing it, we feel things.
Yeah.
Yes. But then it's like, oh, okay, now give it back.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
Because and like that's why someone like shares a really heartfelt story and we feel it. Or like somebody sometimes in my sessions I'm like, oh, and I want to cry for them, like 'cause we feel it, but we have to know when to open and close too.
Yeah.
And the boundaries and protection, a good friend of ours, we were at Shangri-La, and I'm really good at like opening and closing and tucking in and hiding, like I'm really good at that. My friend, she's just wide open. So she just kept getting pulled in and sucked in. She's like, I need to go hide in the tent. And I'm like, so we all need to practice knowing how to like close our energy and open. And like now that I've said that to you, you might be more aware. You might like feel it or notice it. So just be aware.
I was just gonna play off of our experience because I was one of the other ladies that got to feel that energy. I definitely agree with the protection. Yogi, without realizing, she gave me this beautiful amber ring the night before everything happened. I had taken it off when I was showering, and in my head I heard, don't take it off, but I did. I took off all my jewelry because I never know what I can get wet and doesn't, and I don't want to ruin anything. So I had taken a shower, and instantly I had gotten this migraine, and I don't get migraines ever. So I was like, well, that's weird. And I saw something weird in my head, and I was like, feeling uncomfortable. So I was like, whatever. I went to bed with just the sun, and I woke up the next morning with Yogi's ring on my finger, and noticed that one of the beautiful ambers had shattered. And I feel like that definitely protected me over the night. But then lady went around giving everybody goodbye hugs, not asking permission beforehand. And
That's what I want to speak to too.
Pretty much
Somebody
makes
asks for a hug,
that.
just tell you can say no. And I hate that I was in the back doing some shit, trying to calm myself so I wasn't freaking out, and I wasn't out there to protect you guys to say, hey, you don't have to. So I'm sorry. Well, yeah. So she forced people to hug her goodbye.
She came around forcing us to hug, and the moment she hugged me, I just felt suddenly like dizzy and nauseous. My headache got really bad because I remember asking you for Tylenol, and it just got so bad. And then she's like, you need to go to the back room. And so I did. And the moment I walked into the space where she does the healing, I just started sobbing. I was like, what the fuck? This is not me. And yeah, it was intense. So protection is so important. And as somebody who didn't believe in dark energies fully, I do now.
Yeah.
And I don't want anybody to experience this shit.
And the spaces thing too. So I create sacred, safe fucking containers. So when somebody comes in and tries to infiltrate them, I get really angry. And I was trying to do my best to help other people heal and have their space and their opportunity. So that's why I was like thanking you all for being real and vulnerable and sharing. But that's the other thing is maybe, okay, too much of this. Maybe you go into a space and it is like a sacred, safe space, and then like you finally feel okay to let your walls down. Then you're gonna feel more and be like, oh, what is that, right? So you might feel it more because you're in a safe space where you're mentally like, oh, I can put my walls down, and then you notice that. The other thing is, in our day-to-day lives, our jobs, our homes, like often we're like numb, especially if we're just Netflixing, drinking, smoking weed. Like we're numbing ourselves, so we can't be as aware to these energies and feeling these energies. So when there are times and places where you're like, oh, if you get a weird feeling, trust it, listen to it, abort mission, get out. And we are in the age of the fake gurus, in the time of all these people of power. Do we not just hear Wim Hof now and abuse and like, dude? There's so much abuse of power. There are so many people coming out and saying they know this, they don't know that. We're healers, we're gurus, blah, blah, blah. Discernment. Knowing what you feel like, knowing what feels good to you, knowing and listening and watching before you engage or pay them money or do their things. Like, know where they're coming from. Are they coming from the heart or are they coming from an ego? And that's what I was going to say earlier too, is you guys meet me at a depth because you come from your heart. You leave your ego at the door. Sometimes I go in communities with other people, or sometimes even just women too, and it's like, what? But why are we at an ego right now? Like, why can't we leave that at the door? Like, I don't. I'm not going on a rant on that one. So just know that there are times you do need to be aware of that. We're almost out of time. I want to touch on a couple more things. Colors. If you don't have the crystals, colors. So protection. Blue is a calming protection of, you can imagine blue, a royal blue all around you, surrounding you, protection, peace, calm. Another way to say something is like shielding. Shielding is really good. But so the violet flame, Saint Germain and the violet flame. I want you all to look into that, dig into it, learn, practice. So the violet flame is such a high frequency. It's like the last frequency of light before white. So it's like really powerful. But Saint Germain is an ascended master. He brings us like freedom, forgiveness. But the violet flame transmute negative energy. So when I go to work, that one of my steps is a violet flame all around me. So that when someone tries, or if you're about to be in an argument with somebody, or you're around somebody angry or whatever, a violet flame to transmute it. So anything that comes at you is transmuted and shifts back to them. Like, it cannot penetrate you then. It also is like a magical erase, so violet flame, using it in your space around you, super powerful. This is something I learned this year that I'm really excited about. So mirror energy, mirror things. So yeah. I've shared it before about, like, there's many steps, but then the last steps is a mirror-like substance I do this a lot at night before bed for my kiddo and I, of like a mirror-like substance just protecting over us so that we're invisible, so that we can just lay here peacefully and not be seen. Something I learned at a retreat last month was imagining your hands being mirrors. So I also use this too. So I was doing a energy session on this lady, and I could see or feel this dark energy out here. And because we were at a retreat, there's a lot of us. I was trying to come in, and I was like, no. So I took a mirror and I literally used the sunlight to like push it back. So using actual mirrors, I have a mirror facing out of my door in my bedroom. So anything tries to come in the doorway, it's pushed right back out. You don't want a mirror facing your bed, but out the doorway is fine. But imagine yourself as a mirror, or imagine mirrors on your hands and blocking it. Did that this weekend too, of like placing a mirror around the retreat center, and like mirror. That is something, because it's tricky out there. We have to have all the tools and things to use it and work. And the other one is Saint Michael. Saint Michael is an amazing archangel who wants to come in here and assist us. So imagine him coming around with his big wings.
Blue flame.
Blue flame?
He's part of the blue flame. He has the sword, and so that's where the protection comes in.
Oh, I gotta show you my sword picture.
So so the blue flame with the protection, I would also be part of Archangel Michael coming with that. I work with him a lot.
So asking him to come in with the blue flame for protection and shielding you with his wings is really helpful. Boom. Okay. Anybody else have anything they want to add to this?
The main thing, I guess, for myself that I wrote down when you were talking about us walking into the fifth dimension or coming into the fifth dimension has a lot to do with times, and time does not exist in the fifth dimension. So we're thinking about, I'm going to get into some real weird things here in a second. When you think about the different timelines and universes, they all go into one. Everything is happening at once, all at once, and at the same time. So with us coming to the fifth dimension, there's going to be a lot more holes and portals for those demons to come through. That's why we're seeing a lot of these habits coming through, like a lot of these repetitive wars and the same things happening. Like you got mad at this, like we've got Israel, Pakistan, like all these other places that are happening, and each one of our countries are going through these really hard things. That's because of the fifth dimension and these portals and us being able to repeat, and like we're literally seeing the timelines all happen at once at the same time as we're going into this. So just be extra careful with the disguises and the masks of how these people are showing up from a different timeline so they can see us because they're time traveling. And like I said, that's some really weird things, but if we're talking about fifth dimension, time does not exist in the fifth dimension, and so it's easier for people to shoot through those portals.
And it's also easier for us to jump timelines.
Yes.
Exactly.
Your dreams are also
So manifesting really fast, you jump to timeline and like claimed your power, said, yes, let's do this now. Like jumping timelines is real right now. So if a pattern presents itself as a person, place, thing is showing up, learn from it. Like, yes, no, okay, cool, boom, I get to go that way. Oh, so I'm going to sink into that. Well, crap, now I'm here. But we can jump our timelines, and like things can expand so rapidly, but we have to choose to do that. We could go into so many, because like dream portals, you can jump into different dimensions. Like you guys, we could keep going for so long.
The fifth dimension, it's gonna be wild, and you're just gonna see the layers and just jump into the rabbit hole. Just jump into the rabbit hole.
But like talk to your friends, ask your questions, so don't do it alone.
But that's also why a lot of people are hip to, even somebody the other day asked me, what is shadow work? I've heard of this, because those modern, everyday people who were blinded and kind of zombified are waking up
Yes,
to the fact that they have to do the work. And yeah, they were living, what is it called? They were on a script, or they were like in the matrix, and now they're coming out of it. So things like shadow work, inner child healing, what's most important about those is realizing your trauma, but also realizing the triggers that bring you back to those timelines. Like you said, all these timelines are happening at the same time, and so things from your past will keep coming up. And when you recognize that it's from your past and that is not where your future lies, you exit. You figure out how to get rid of that trigger and stop repeating what you used to do, and realize that you have to do something different. And so that's why this type of thing, shadow work, inner child, like all the things, heal, goddammit.
Heal. Do your inner work. With the pattern, it's a patterns, like you see the pattern, recognize it, like, okay, that's a pattern, I'm choosing differently, boom, clear, cancel, delete. Like, thank you for the lesson, onward. Clear, cancel, delete is something that's just been like the energy that we felt this weekend. I was very much, nope, clear, cancel, delete, we're done with this, bye. I think that is all I have for that. I do want to share a couple more things with you guys in person. I'm going to end this as soon as I figure out.